You do not have to, you're not going to be tested on these topics, but I wanted to show you some real world situations where we do use rational expressions, so that you know that it is used in some pretty simple questions that are asked, but the math for answering those questions is not always, the algebra is a little bit tricky sometimes. Okay, so working alone, Irina can paint a room in 8 hours. So we're going to be using a variation of distance equals rate times time. That's a formula that you see in science quite a bit, and we're going to be using that in number 20, that exact one. But we're going to do something that's called job equals rate times time. It's the same concept, except instead of traveling a distance, you're completing a job in the rate that it takes you to, the rate that you work at times the time it takes you to do it. So for Irina, she can do one job at the rate that she works times 8 hours. Right? We don't actually know the rate that she works. And then in the problem, we see that Paulo can do the same job in the rate that he works times 5 hours. So if I solve both of these, I get that 1 over 8 is the rate that Irina works. That makes sense. She can do 1/8 of the job in an hour. And Paulo is 1/5. He can do 1/5 of the same job in 1 hour. So the question is, how many hours will it take them if they are working together? So we're still doing job equals rate times time. And they're still completing one job, but this time we have the rate that Irina works plus the rate that Paulo works. And it's not as simple as either adding or subtracting because they're working at different rates. So you're trying to combine two different speeds that people are working at to see how long it's going to complete a job. And when they're working together, we want to see how long it will take. So this is kind of the equation, but I know from above that the rate of Irina is the same as 1 over 8, and the rate of Paulo is 1 over 5, and that's times t. Okay, I can distribute the t, remember this is really t over 1. So 1/8 times t is really just t over 8. And 1/5 times t is really just t over 5. And now I'm going to use my rational expressions. What do I want to multiply both sides of the equation by to get rid of the 8 and the 5? Well, I will multiply by 8 and by 5, which is sometimes called 40. But we can set it up like this, right? So 8 times 5 times 1 is 40. This is going to give me 8 times 5t over 8. There's a reason I don't want to call it 40. So just hang in there with me. This one I'm going to call 8 times 5 times t over 5. So if I don't go ahead and multiply the numerator, you can see this is going to cancel here and this is going to cancel here. So I have 40 equals 5t plus 8t. So 40 equals 13t. So the time that it will take them is we'll just call that 3.08 hours. 3.08 hours if they work together.